Well, good morning. Again, thank you for being here and thank you for having me here with you. So, in a year, there is over 500,000 minutes in a year. Actually, there's 525,600 minutes in a year. So it takes those minutes, each one of them, to unfold for that year to be a year. In any year, there will be good times. There'll be bad times. There may even be some times that are downright awful. Each one of us will have, or maybe we already have had, our lives turned upside down. Sooner or later, something totally unexpected will shake the very foundations of your life. Then what? Well, if we allow it, all events can teach us something. They can strengthen us, even help to make us more than we were before. And notice I said the word allow, because that's key. It's always up to us. And it can be really hard. 1991 was for me a terrible year. A terrible year. Things went from bad to worse. Job loss, ending of a marriage, health crisis. The list could go on. I'm not going to go there. But when 1992 showed up, I was really happy to say goodbye to 1991. But that painful year was also the beginning of a spiritual awakening for me. But what do I mean by spiritual awakening? Marcel Proust said, "The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes." So in my case, a spiritual awakening was seeing with new eyes, fresh eyes. For me, it took that difficult and scary time to open my eyes and see what I'd not seen before. I learned to see in new and different ways. Someone said, and I think it was Wayne Dyer, said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at begin to change. And they did. And here's the thing. With awareness comes choice. There is a reservoir of strength within each of us that is greater than we ever imagine. I know, because I've experienced it, and in my years as a hospice chaplain, I've seen it in others many times. Had it not been for that time, I might not have discovered this at all. If had it not been for that time, I really doubt I would have gone back to school or been hired as a hospice chaplain. A few weeks back, we celebrated the beginning of a new year. And for me, January is the month of my birthday. So the celebration is personal, as I'm standing at the threshold of another year of life. They keep coming faster. Emily Dickinson wrote, "Hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tunes without the words and never stops at all." So standing here this morning, I have no idea what this new year may bring. But I do know what I can hope for. More compassion in the world. Peace. Greater kindness. Justice. The end of anger and fear and hatred. And really important here, an ever-increasing awareness that we are all connected and that everything is. Because if enough of us get this, it makes all these other hopes more likely to occur. You know, Gandhi said that we must be the change that we wish to see in the world. I mean, he told a great truth. The world will change when I change, and that ripples out to others, like all of you here this morning. If I want a more compassionate world, I must be more compassionate to myself as well as to others. And that's important because you can't give what you don't have. And I'm using me here, but you can substitute you, okay? In order for there to be peace, I need to become the peace that I seek. If consciousness is to be raised, and when I say consciousness, I'm referring to awareness. Like you're aware, I hope you're aware right now that you're here listening to me rant on here, okay? Anyway, if consciousness is to be raised, I must continue to open my mind again and again and again and again. And when my mind slams shut, because it will, due to selfishness or fear or anger or any number of reasons, I must use all my strength to push it back open again, to take another look, to see if maybe I'm mistaken or wrong, or maybe I just need to change my mind or opinion on something. If there is to be justice, I need to live a just life. If there's to be an end of fear, I must know that there is really nothing to fear. And if I want more love, I must be more loving. It's only when the power of love replaces the love of power that we will have peace. You know who said that? Jimi Hendrix. I like the way he played guitar, but I really like that sentiment even better. I believe that with the power of love, all these things I just recited can and will become a reality. But this requires choice, and choice requires awareness. And that's where I'm going with all of this morning. We have 525,600 minutes in a year. That works out to 1,440 minutes a day. Each one of us is an absolute integral part of the birthing of this year and what is to grow from this year. We're a part of that. But this requires attention because it's only when we're paying attention that we can make choices. So I don't know about you. I can only speak for me. But I went through a large part of my earlier life on autopilot. I went through the motions. I did the things. I had the job. I made the money. Did all the stuff I thought I was supposed to do. Yet my life still crashed and burned. And when it did, in that moment, I realized, oh my God, I've been phoning things in. I've not been paying attention, not making the choice where to put my attention. I didn't even know I had a choice. And so much of my life at that time, I realized, had just slipped by me. I discovered that most of the time I was either rehashing something from my past or worrying about something up ahead in the future. In other words, I wasn't present. I wasn't present in the only place that is real, where I can actually do something, the present, which is now. You know, I noticed there's been a lot of trends in movies over recent years. Dystopia is one of the themes, been going on for about 30 years. But in the recent years, have you noticed like the themes of superheroes? Like there's the Marvel world and there's the DC world and all the superheroes. And I think we're fascinated with that, but here's the reality. This is our superpower. And it's real. Because the year is really lived just one moment at a time, it makes change more doable, not too big or unmanageable, just this moment. For just this moment, I can be kind, I can be patient. You know, break it down. I'm not looking at a week or a month or even a whole day. I'm looking at a minute. And a minute is doable. Because if I can learn to be patient for just 1 minute, the next minute's a little bit easier too. If we do our best with each moment, then the likelihood is pretty good that the year will be a good year. This requires attention and intention. Pay attention to where you're placing your attention. That's huge. I mean, that's huge. When my kids were teenagers, I used to try and explain to them when they wanted to eat all this crap food that they were being sold. That it's not good for their body. But then they'd sit down at the TV set and they'd watch crap TV. And I'd say that's like poison for your brain. It's the same thing. You wouldn't, I asked my daughter one day, I said, would you eat poison every day? She said, of course not. I said, well, you're watching it. It changes how you see things. So anyway, I gave that lecture 30 years ago, whatever it was. They didn't pay attention to me then. I think they now have kids and they're understanding, oh yeah, that's what you were talking about. Anyway, I'm talking about awareness. It's mindfulness. It's a practice. And it is one that can and will change your life. And it is not easy. And you will struggle and you will stumble. And I can guarantee you, you will not do it perfectly. And I really liked, in reading the shared values this morning, you said it right here. Complete and never perfect. It's about progress, not perfection. That's the practicing of it all. So, selecting and being aware that you can actually shift your attention off something. Now, I'm going to say sometimes the now isn't great. I had a dentist appointment 3 weeks ago. It's not my favorite place to be. You know, you are going to have those nows. But I was also able to observe my fear when I heard the drill go and to practice breathing. I could do something rather than just hanging on to the seat. Will it stop bad things or challenging things from happening? No, it won't. But it will change how you respond, and that is the power, and that's true power. So often we will not see what has been set in motion until the new year is many years behind us. And maybe, maybe, just maybe that year that we thought was just the most awful year imaginable was in fact the turning point. The place where things began to change and lead in a new direction. I know this personally. Oftentimes it is through struggle and it is through something really painful that our attention is woken up. Life is made up of moments, but it's only in the years that we can begin to see the whole picture. And it is often through adversity that we are introduced to the best parts of ourselves. And we're also introduced to some of the worst parts because they're revealed too. And it's said that that which is not revealed will not heal. It's my hope that when viewed from some new year in the future, these past years that have been filled with so much struggle, violence, and war will be seen as the turning point. The thing that finally got people's attention when enough of us finally said, enough. And humanity actually began to wake up to its true potential. And that what we do to any one of us, we do to all of us. Only time will tell. But I am hopeful, very hopeful. So I wish you all much joy and happiness in the coming year. And I wish you strength, resolve, and courage, because life will challenge you and it will test you. And it will break your heart at times. That's the deal. It's not easy being a human being, but you signed up for it and so did I, and we're here. But I know, too, that sometimes the greatest gifts can grow out of pain, struggle, and heartache. And then we will have all the strength that we need to carry us wherever that we wish to go. Thank you.